Welcome to Long Story Short, the podcast where we discuss the movies that I love.
And I put up with.
My name is Mike.
And I'm Jordan.
And this week we are discussing the 2020 film Enola Holmes. Written by Jack Thorne and Nancy Springer, directed by Harry Bradbeer, starring Millie Bobbie Brown, Henry Cavill, Sam Claflin, Helena Bonham Carter, etc. Millie Bobbie Brown, of course, is the titular character Enola. Henry Cavill is Sherlock Holmes. Sam Claflin is Mycroft Holmes. And Helena Bonham Carter plays Eudora Holmes, a.k.a. Mama Holmes. She's called Mom almost the whole time. Like, I honestly didn't know what her name was.
Bellatrix was so motherly in this movie.
She was good. I really enjoyed the fact that Enola was taught to be an independent woman. I feel like that's kind of something we try to encourage in our children. And it was cool to see this mother-daughter relationship where the girl was just allowed to kind of explore things.
We're currently homeschooling due
Yes.
to the pandemic. Our homeschooling doesn't quite look like Enola's homeschooling.
No, we don't play a lot of tennis indoors.
No, we don't practice jiu-jitsu, even though maybe we should.
Yeah, I think it might like reflect poorly on us though if we just randomly attack the kid out in the yard.
Or like force them to read every book in the library, because there's some books you shouldn't read.
Right.
Maybe like Sherlock Holmes. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Oh, speaking of female mannerisms, you have to laugh politely. I would be in so much trouble for that. So we're shown in the movie that Enola kind of has a original upbringing. Original's not the word.
Unique?
Yes. Not common. Her mom...
Uncommon is another way that people say that.
Single mom household. House clearly unkept. Just kind
The house
of
is
chaotic.
fucking destroyed.
Is this like an eccentric household? Is that a better word for this? Anyway, Enola turns 16 and her mom just fucking goes missing. Just fucking leaves. We don't know why. Her brothers come home, aka Sherlock Holmes
And Mycroft
Holmes, and they don't even recognize her sister because that's how long it had been. And she takes them back to their house, and Mycroft is like pissed. He's like, I've been paying for gardeners and governesses, whatever the fuck that is, and other Victorian shit, apprentices, house carers. He sees the house is in disarray.
Caretakers? You're the best. I mean? You're the best with words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Words are hard.
And so we see that Sherlock Holmes is kind of he's the better brother, I would say. He's more, well, that brings me to a point here. An interesting fact about Enola Holmes is Netflix is currently being sued by the estate that owns several Sherlock Holmes stories. It's the Conan Doyle estate. Some of the stories, Sherlock Holmes stories that were published between 1923 and 1927 are owned by this place. They're not public domain yet. And according to this place, Sherlock Holmes isn't supposed to be emotional. He's supposed to be like misogynistic and cold and incapable of being a good big brother. And so they're just like suing Netflix saying that this was emotional Sherlock Holmes and that's not okay. That's
stupid.
Weird. Anyway, back to the story though. We see that Mycroft is put as ward over Enola. So he wants Enola to go to this finishing school. Clearly she might need it, but doesn't want to go.
Right, but I don't think she needs it. She's wild, but
It was a joke. This is Victorian England. She needed to be a lady.
That was a joke.
Clearly I need to go to finishing school. It would have done me good. Okay. So Enola runs away. But first she, solves this mystery that her mom left for her. Mysteries already. This is clearly trying to be a Sherlock Holmes movie. So we are met with mysteries from the beginning. There's several mysteries throughout this movie.
Yeah, it's like a Russian nesting doll.
Of mysteries.
Yeah.
And so she finds this message from her mother basically telling her that we make our own path. And she decides she doesn't want to go to the school and runs away too on the search to find her mom. While she's on the run, she meets a boy who's also on the run on the train.
Right. Yeah, this is he's listed as Tewksbury in IMDb, but I knew him as Viscamp.
Yeah.
That was his first name anyways.
She helps him escape from this bad guy that's trying to kill him, and they kind of part ways, and she's basically in downtown Victorian London. She has a stash of money her mom left her. That was part of the message that she had figured out before she ran away from home. And she's going to put it to use to find her mom, basically.
Yeah, and she realizes she has to blend in, or not blend in, but yeah, blend in, so that way her brothers can't find her, that way they can't send her to finishing school, that way she can solve the mystery that her mom left for her. And she realizes the best way to make her brothers not be able to recognize her is to dress up like a proper lady. Which is it's a really funny scene, because this shop owner is super transphobic, thinking she's a boy, until she whips out her money.
Yeah.
It's strange how money changes.
Makes you not transphobic if you're presented with enough of it.
I can't remember what movie it is. We watched it recently where it said being rich allows you the chance to be nice or something like that.
That is Parasite, honey.
That's
it's easy
right.
To be nice
what
when you're rich.
What a good movie.
Just
what a
true.
good movie.
Yeah. No. Okay, we cannot relate Enola Holmes to Parasite.
No. That'd be an insult to Parasite. I would never do that to Bong Joon-ho.
Okay.
How dare you?
I was between like 11 and Superman. I was all in watching this movie.
It's fun. It's a good family flick. You can watch it with the kids and not feel like a bad parent.
So Enola is definitely good at solving mysteries. We can tell that she's Sherlock Holmes' younger sister.
Was it just me, or did it feel like a disproportionate amount of people in this movie were good at solving mysteries?
Yes. I guess that's the point. We should preface. I can't talk.
Preface. I love you, honey.
People are gonna just think I'm stupid.
No, they won't.
That's fine. I just can't talk. There's a difference. Like this.
All right. So is this about Enola Holmes?
No, this is about us not being Sherlock Holmes fans. Like,
Yeah.
I'm bad about saying that, but we have to.
I don't care. That sounds bad. This movie I enjoyed. I just don't overall care about Sherlock Holmes. I'd watch a sequel of this though.
Yeah.
I'm fairly medium on this movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Sherlock and an Enola Holmes movie.
Okay, so we don't live under a rock. We understand Sherlock Holmes and what it's supposed to like represent in classic literature, blah 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 blah. But we should definitely say that before we talk about.
Yeah, our conversation is definitely gonna be more on the ignorant side. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so Enola's in London. She deciphers messages with the thing her mom left her, so she's herself is leaving these messages in numerous papers that she knew her mom tends to read. She runs into... No, she doesn't run into anybody. This is a detective movie. She finds this lady who taught her martial arts and was friends with her mom. I don't know if that's important or not.
It is, because that's where she finds the next clue. Remember that it was in her like dojo where she found all the like
stuff
chemistry
you make
shit.
Bombs with basically.
Yeah. And she almost gets killed by the dude again.
Yeah, the dude that's trying to kill what the fuck his name is.
Viscamp.
Yes. And
Dude, this motherfucker is like just trying to kill kids. Like he doesn't give a shit.
Children. I didn't even realize that. These are children. Enola's supposed to be this was her 16th birthday that her mom disappeared on. And yeah, she has been trained in all kinds of shit though, so she knows that she has to play dead.
Yeah, because he tries to drown her.
Yeah, it's like, how is she gonna get out this one? But that worked. That worked. Good job, Millie Bobbie Brown.
She's really good in this.
Yeah. She's
This
not
movie
British, she's
really-
American. I thought her accent was good. She's cute.
Yeah, she does a good job. I thought what was interesting though was they kind of tried to dupe you with the Holmes bit and Henry Cavill. He wasn't a big part of this movie at all.
No, it was definitely, well, not exactly, because Enola Holmes was a series of books written and published in 2006 to 2010 by Nancy Springer, who we named as like a writer on here.
Right, yeah, I saw that she wrote the series as well.
Yeah, so I think if we were big Sherlock Holmes fans, we would have, Enola Holmes, that series of young adult fiction novels that were published when we were too old to read them. Yes.
Wake me up when Netflix makes a Hardy Boys movie. Henry Cavill would be perfect for that. Fucking Henry Cavill as shit. Who are the brothers? All right, go into the movie. Go into the movie. We're getting distracted. I'm gonna discuss.
You're gonna do some detective work over here because this is Sherlock Holmes movie. I'm just kidding.
Joe and Frank. He could be Frank. We got to figure out a Joe, but we'll get into that.
Somehow, in our Enola Holmes review, we're casting the Hardy Boys.
Yeah,
film
we'll
franchise.
We'll get to that after this. All right, so dude's a fucking dick. Tries to kill a bunch of kids. She gets away. We forgot to mention though that Enola gives Viscamp a pocket knife haircut, and she does a better job than half the barbers at Great Clips can do. I just think that's important.
That was not important at all. Almost being killed by the murderer that tried to kill her in Viscamp? Viscamp? Where is this spelled out? Because I don't even believe this shit. I mean, I heard it 20 times, but... And
an underlying theme in this film that I think you did some research on was the upcoming election.
Oh, yes. We could have waited until it was, like, important, though.
Okay, no, we'll get back to that. Cliff note that, or bookmark that.
Being killed by this villain prompted her to find him again, though, Viscamp again. So they reunited when Enola was able to, excuse me, to deduce.
You don't have to use detective words, honey.
That he was working in downtown London, trying to blend in as well. I guess now's a good time to bring up that she finds out why he's in hiding and why he ran away from home, and it's because he's actually a lord, and an upcoming vote is supposed to come in, a very important election.
Right.
We don't know anything about those.
As Americans, November 3rd means nothing to us.
As Mycroft
We're definitely not terrified.
There are too many uneducated voters.
I got the direct quote. If there is one thing this country doesn't need is more uneducated voters. Also, as an American, I can't imagine what that's like.
So, basically...
Imagine living in a country where we elected a celebrity that's a fucking idiot. That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine what that's like.
It's going great, guys.
Okay, not everybody lives in America.
Thank God. You guys, anyways, Enola Holmes.
His vote isn't important, because obviously if he's being murdered, that means that, like, every vote, they have a pamphlet, a newspaper that says every vote counts, and so even, like, this child's vote is very important to the future of England, and so these, like, people are trying to murder him because they...
want to swing the election.
Yeah, we don't understand what's going on. Like we said, we're Americans. Okay, so Enola and him team up.
Right, which throughout this film, this movie actually really is a cool look at women empowerment. Because throughout it, Enola is making the choice to return to Viscamp. She's choosing to be an independent woman.
She even chose to save him over her mom. She said, Mom can wait. I found out she's like the Unabomber or something, so I'm going to go find Viscamp first, and then I'll figure out, because this is my own mystery, because that's what Sherlock Holmes says.
Right.
Like,
there's mysteries within mysteries, like we said. And, and throughout the film, you see these lessons that her mom taught her, always telling her to kind of make your own decisions, choose your own path. There was another great quote that I wrote down was, there are two paths you can take, Enola. Yours or the paths others choose for you. And that's a strong message throughout the movie of you don't need to do what society is telling you to do. Do what you think is right.
Yeah. She also warns her that there's some people that you can't save. Just let nature take its course or whatever. So she kind of had to make some decisions on what was important to her. Like you're saying, that falls in the same lines. Well, and ultimately right now in the plot, or in the timeline, she is taken to finishing school because Mycroft was able to hunt her down.
Right.
Using another detective that Enola had run into previously, so they basically found out through detective work.
A lot of detective stuff in here.
Where she was, and take her to the finishing school, which is ran by Aunt Petunia.
Who we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a bitch in this too. Shocker.
No, she's the headmistress of the school.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah, no.
Why are you saying no?
I'm not saying no.
You just said no!
I'm saying that we might have discussed that in a take that is no longer in this recorded podcast.
Well, then don't say yeah, no, because she is a bitch.
She's a bitch. Okay, so Mycroft, no, not him.
Mycroft's a dick that gets her to the Aunt Petunia. And then Viscamp rescues her.
First, Sherlock visits her, though, and basically gives her a pep talk. And we see him being a good big brother, which they're getting sued for now. But anyways.
Yeah, how dare they?
He says that you basically need to, like, if you want to attract the sharks, you need to put your feet in the water or something like that. I don't remember the line, but they repeated it a couple times throughout the movie. And so her and Viscamp
and
escape.
he brings up a good point, and he says, why the hell are we trying to fight sharks? That saying is stupid. Sherlock Holmes is kind of dumb.
Okay. The point of Sherlock Holmes is he's really not dumb.
Just high on coke.
They escape the finishing school, and they go back to Viscamp's estate to attract the sharks, which is not a good idea, because
Grandma is a fucking shark.
Cut
Yeah.
Shark. Okay, and who's the guy? The guy? It's the same guy, right? The same villain that's been following them, has the shotgun, and is trying to, like, murder them. And he ends up kind of murdering himself.
Enola tries to use a maneuver that her mother had taught her previously that didn't work when he was trying to drown her. And this time she nails it and is...
See, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
And he does, like, what's that movie?
Temple...
Baby.
Oh, $1 Million Baby.
But he hits
Temple first into this.
Cone instead
it's
of,
not a pine cone. It's like a brass pine cone.
Gland. I
Pineal.
think it's like it represents things, but it looks like a pine cone. So whatever. It murders him.
Literally has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever.
We're detectives of our own.
No, I think you're
there's
making...
a deeper meaning
I think
to that statue besides just a murder weapon.
No.
An unfortunately placed object.
No.
Because it was all the placement. It wasn't Enola's
Are you
fault.
saying
Enola isn't responsible
the
for
pineal
this
gland
murder.
is unfortunately placed?
It might be. It might be. Keep brushing with your fluoride, honey. I'm just kidding. That wasn't a very good joke either. Grandma bursts in the hall and shoots Viscamp in the chest with a shotgun, the same shotgun, and
he was wearing a breastplate from one of the statues, and he's fine.
Yeah, she runs out of shots, so she can't shoot either one of them again, and
I don't remember what happens to her. Does she die? Do they kill her, or do they just let her go? Your response is just silence?
I'm looking at her notes, honey. She reveals that she is the bad guy, and that she had killed
Viscamp's
dad because of the same reason that she didn't want this untraditional vote going into the House of Lords. The reform bill vote is coming up, and so she's willing to shoot her own grandson just so traditional England can endure.
Yeah, because they're old money, and the change is probably going to cause them to lose money, and that's typically what motivates these people.
Sherlock Holmes goes to the cops and tells the detective that had tracked Enola down what he found because he solved the case, and he was surprised to find out that his sister had solved it before him and had already gone to the detective. And Enola, at this point, had finally received a message from her mother via random numbers in the paper. You guys might want to watch the video to this podcast.
Yeah, Jordan's doing some kind of witchcraft over here.
Spirit fingers. And Mycroft and Sherlock are waiting to meet Enola.
Yeah, so they don't, and that movie ends with Enola living in mystery.
No, I fucked up. The inscription in the paper was her brothers trying to track her down, and Sherlock figured out what was happening and basically let her go and told Mycroft that he would be the ward instead because he's the better big brother. And
Mycroft's a dick.
The whole time,
I don't care about his character at all.
Enola was obviously a step in front of them because she knew that this was happening. She watched it happen and then went back to her room where her mom was waiting for her. And her mom they basically, at first Enola's mad because her mom just walked out. Rightfully so, Enola. I'd be pissed too. But then her mom explains kind of why she had to leave or why she has to leave, and they're all taking different paths, I guess, and that's kind of how the movie ends, is Enola has to find her path and her purpose because her brothers did and her mom's done that, and Viscount has done that because he's going to vote against the traditional vote in the reform bill, and there could be a sequel.
Yeah.
Unless they get sued. Well, I don't know how that shit works. I don't think Netflix cares.
The movie's doing well enough.
Yeah. How well is it doing, honey?
Well, let's start with the dumber side of things. IMDb gave it a 6.7, far too low in my opinion, but it's only got 50,000 votes so far. That's not too many. Rotten Tomatoes, the audience gave it a 69%, nice, and the critics gave it a 92%.
Ooh. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's Henry Cavill's highest ranked movie.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I don't go 92. I'm gonna go 85.
I thought it was interesting because the whatever head head showrunner of The Witcher congratulated him on the internet about the 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I didn't know that I knew they want good reviews, but I didn't know that meant so much.
Oh yeah, that means a ton. A lot of people go to Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb to see what the rating is before they'll even watch it.
But it's interesting that they care so much about the critics. Like,
which
do
is
they care about the fan vote too? I mean, I guess you're just
pocketbooks. They're looking at the paychecks.
Okay, sorry, I forgot that it's about money.
Ryan the Alogo says, visually impressive but lacks substance. I long for the days when a movie was meant to convey a story and entertainment, not a political ideology. Was HBC character even needed? HBC.
Henry? Is that him? No.
Who the fuck is HBC? It doesn't matter. Fuck that dude. He's clear.
Oh, he probably meant HBC. Helen.
Oh, Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes!
Yeah, she was the point.
All right, Ryan, you clearly are a little fucking baby.
He's mad about the political tie. I'm sure he's probably a Trumper.
John Jacob 01781 says, good lord, this movie is terrible. It clocks in at over 2 hours long, making it even worse. The story is plain boring, the mystery isn't really a mystery, and the acting is terrible. If a movie has a kid from Stranger Things in it, you can be sure it's bad. 1 out of 10. Save your brain cells. It's also his title. John, stupid opinion. The Stranger Things kids are great.
Yeah, a few of them have gone off to do some cool stuff now. Will has been in It, right?
No, that's
I don't know. Whatever.
The main kid. All right. Okay, Sana Yakubets says empowering movie, great cast, beautiful premises, and inspiring idea. I don't see how the idea that women are more than wives, ladies, and able to choose their own path can be considered too feministic. Do you guys live in 18th century or what? Women are depicted as strong-willed, powerful. I loved fighting scenes so much. It's a narrative we all deserve. 10 out of 10. I wish you would have proofread your review.
I don't think English is their first language, just by some of that. So that's okay.
Nessabu says, I thought this movie was a real delight. Millie is so charismatic, and it was so fun seeing her in this role and seeing her break the fourth wall. The role is so different to Eleven in Stranger Things, and we got to see that Millie is so good with both drama and comedy. She has great comedic timing. I'd love to see her do more comedy in the future. 10 out of 10.
I think we did see a broader range from her in this movie, so that's good for her.
She was really good. I think she's really good in general. But
it was another role where she was a young lady portraying a not so general young lady role, which is cool.
And she's good at it.
I liked the part where she was wearing the corset and she's like, this used to be a symbol of oppression, but I choose to wear it. Another feminism stance.
Oh, yeah.
That turned out to be like blade proof, which we didn't talk about, but she got stabbed and the corset saved her.
Right. So, I gave it an 85. What did you give it?
87.
I think that's fair.
I give everything at 87, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's fair.
That's fine. It was good. I'd watch it again. I watched it for Millie and Henry Cavill, so I think I held up to those standards.
I watched
it for Millie and Henry Cavill.
For Millie.
Millie, yes.
I thought you said million. I was like, that sentence doesn't make a lick of sense.
You kept calling her 13. 13 is a horrible name.
Why?
11 makes so much more sense.
Why does it make more sense?
Just because it's just 13. 12 is a better name than 13. Moving on, what have we been watching? We've been watching... You want me to talk to myself? You've been watching Blade Runner.
Yeah, I hadn't ever watched Blade Runner before, and I finally watched both Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, and I personally think that the original is the superior movie. And that was my first time viewing both. 2049 is visually stunning, though. Like, that movie's crazy. It's still very, very good. Blade Runner's just, this might be controversial, but it's a good movie.
I've never seen it.
I know you
That
haven't.
would be a movie borderline put up with, borderline just torture.
No, you would like 2049 because of Gosling.
Maybe.
What else have we been watching?
Well, I started the American version of Love Island.
Oh, good.
Bad reality TV, but it's interesting because it's a British reality TV show that they've because usually it goes the other way. Other countries take, American reality TV, and they've done it in Vegas. And it's the other interesting part, because this is not going to be interesting to any of our viewers now. It could be either one, but it's like during the quarantine, so they had to have them all isolated beforehand, and all the drivers wear masks, and it's just our day and age. It's weird.
Yeah, the world has changed. I'm trying to think what else we've been watching. Because we've been watching a bunch of shit. We watched Taxi Driver. Now we get all the complaints of why it was...
Are we going to have to redo our Joker episode now that we've watched that movie?
Yeah, there's a few episodes I want to redo. I'd like to redo Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when we get to Quentin Tarantino month.
Fuck you.
I want to do Parasite again because I think we should do a foreign films month, and Parasite I don't feel like we did total justice to. We both love that movie. And we did like 15 minutes on it. 20 minutes on it.
The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Just because I like The Lighthouse. And I think that episode fell off, didn't it? Because that was our first episode, one of them.
Yeah.
I can't even find that episode for some reason anymore.
I have it. I have a copy of it, but...
That is going to be our private copy to embarrass ourselves with when our egos get too big when we get 3 listeners. I'm just kidding.
We have 3 listeners.
No. I know. Thank you guys. Keep writing us on Twitter. Slide into our DMs. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube.
Are we done?
I think so.
Are you cutting it short?
Do you have anything else to say? Anything?
No, I guess this is going to be a short episode.
Is it short?
We kind of knew it was going to be. Enola Holmes didn't give us a ton to talk about.
I mean, do you want me to talk about...
No. All right, you guys. Short episode this week.
We tried to watch Holmes and Watson a little while ago. That would have been an interesting comparison, but we couldn't get through that one. We got through this one.
Good endorsement.
Good endorsement. What? I liked it.
Enola Holmes. You can get through it. That's a review of a movie you gave 87% to.
Oh, I gotta laugh like a lady.
All right, well, yeah, go to iTunes and give us a rating, or on any of the places that we publish this shit. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you like this new conversation style.
October's coming up. What is October?
October is going to be the greatest time of my life because we get to jump into horror movies. And you have no clue the amount of guts you're about to fucking see. You're not prepared. Because this October, our buddies over at Film Alchemist are doing 31 for 31. That's fucking crazy.
No, thank you.
But what we're going to do is we're going to keep up with the weekly. And then we're going to do, I think, anthologies. Like, we're going to definitely cover Jordan Peele's movies. I think we should do, I Know What You Did Last Summer's. We got to cover Scream. So, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait. All right, so next week we will be jumping into Horror Month. I'm not sure which one we're going. Yeah, no,
it's next week.
It's next week.
It's fucking next week.
Yeah, it's 2 days away.
My
babe.
birthday's coming. Just to remind you.
Yeah, and for your birthday, maybe we'll get to watch all 4 Screams.
No.
All 8 Saws.
Hellraiser.
We could do Hellraiser because they are going to remake that. We got to cover Candyman. I want
to Henry Cavill Hellraiser. Skip all the other ones. Do like number 9 or whatever.
Oh my god.
That's what I want. That's what I want for my birthday.
I have a controversial take on Hellraiser.
Well, I guess you'll have to save it for
think it's very good.
Hellworld episode.
Anyways, so go to our Twitter at TheLongStorySH1 or our Instagram at _long_story_short.
Or our YouTube at... Do you use an @ symbol when you say YouTube? That's how old I am. We're the Long Story Short on YouTube.
Long Story Short Podcast.
Oh, Long Story Short Podcast.
Yep. So that's the episode. That's Enola Holmes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Miss Face Picker.
I forgot I was on camera.
And, yeah, tune in next week when we start the greatest time of the year.